Hi everybody, it's 9 o'clock and 9 o'clock is with me, Father Warner. We are at the end of the fourth week of Lent, but today we celebrate the Annunciation of the Lord. Today is the 25th of March, and I'm going to focus today on the Gospel, Luke chapter 1 verse 26 to 38. I've done a teaching on this before, but I thought of writing a new one especially for you. And I've entitled today's teaching, Not a Mantra to be Mumbled, but a reassurance to be treasured. Now, at the Annunciation, the message of the angel to Mary was that the Lord is with her. I think there is nothing more assuring than to know that the Lord is with us. But that should be an automatic faith response for all people of faith, that the Lord is with us. These were words that Jesus himself reassured us at his ascension. Remember, he said this. He said, "And know that I am with you always until the end of time." Matthew chapter 28, verse 20. Now, the message of the Annunciation that the angel Gabriel communicated to Mary consisted of a greeting and it consisted of a word of assurance. The greeting, "Hail, favored one." It's an interesting greeting and a very enlightening greeting. You see the word Ave, which we say Ave Maria, Ave, or hail, is really a Latin word. It was used by the Romans as a salutation, as a greeting. It is the singular, Ave is the singular imperative form of the word avere, which meant to be well. Thus one could translate it literally as the angel saying to Mary, "Mary, be well. May everything be well with you." But this was not all, because the angel also called Mary the favored one. Hail, Mary, who has found favor with God. It's very interesting. Mary is the favored one. She's not the favorite one. You know, the Bible declares that God does not show favoritism. Read it in Romans chapter 2, verse 11. God loves everyone equally. There is nothing we can ever do to make God love us more than there is nothing we can ever do that will make God love us less. Mary is not God's favorite, but she is the favored one. She has found favor with the Lord for who she is and how she lived her life, a life lived in fidelity to God. So it is no small thing to be regarded, to be favored, especially when you are exceedingly aware that you should not be the favored one. You know, to this favored child of God, to our Blessed Mother, is the message also given of assurance. And that was, the Lord is with you. Do not be afraid. These are the words of the angel. You know, God knows how much we all need to be assured, because so many of us worry about the challenges at hand. My friend Leon Rego the other day reminded me of the words of Seneca. And Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." We suffer more in our imagination than in reality. And the words of the angel were clear to Mary, and by extension to us. Do not suffer, do not be afraid, either in your imagination, because God is in charge of our reality. Do not be afraid, the Lord is with you. You know, for those who pray the rosary daily, these words are not a mantra to be mumbled. The Lord is with you. It's not a mantra to be mumbled, but it's a reassurance to be treasured, that the Lord is with us. You know, this story of Gabriel's announcement to Mary is surrounded also by the impossible. When you read it, everything around the Annunciation seems impossible. Now, reading the biblical narrative, one can actually list the impossibilities that Mary, Elizabeth, everybody faced. And yet the angel is firm when he says, nothing is impossible for God. You know, while the Annunciation of Mary, the Annunciation, may be the message of an angel proclaiming the plan of salvation for humankind, you and I, we also celebrate our Annunciation each time God asks something that seems impossible of us, yet asks for with the same assurance. Do not be afraid. God says to you and me, I know you are afraid, but I'm going to ask you of something that seems impossible for you to do or for you to give. But do not be afraid when I ask you this. Is it easy, my dear friends, to say yes when God asks the impossible from us? Was it easy for Mary when God asked her for what seemed humanly impossible? We know that Mary was perplexed at first. She was even scared. Mary had questions too. She said, "How can this be since I'm a virgin?" Mary was not without her doubts. While the narrative records the Annunciation in literally a couple of lines, it would be well within our reasoning to safely assume that Mary debated this whole thing in her heart. She considered this and she reasoned this calling that God had for her. You know, having flashes of doubt is not sinful, but living in constant doubt turns our hearts of faith away from the loving God and His plan. And Mary had doubts, but she trusted in God. She trusted in Him. You see, when God calls us, my dear friends, He singles us and He chooses us. Our response often is, how can this be? Me? Who am I? Why am I favored? How can the Lord be with me? While these words of doubt may resonate at times in our hearts, let us be assured on this day of His presence in our lives. Mary's story moves us all from who we think we are to what God has called us to be, from observant believers to confessing apostles. I thank you for joining me today. I want to thank you for all your wishes for me yesterday on my birthday. God bless you all. God preserve you all. Thank you also for the love that you show to the Love, Joy, Hope Foundation run by Lenny and Nadia Suarez for the children. Our children, we have 12 of them in our home. Thank you for that love that you show by offering a meal, either breakfast, lunch or dinner. It means a lot to me personally that you reach out to those whose lives we can make a difference to. God bless you. I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is Sunday. We are in the 5th Sunday of Lent. Once again, I want to remind you that we begin our missions here at St. Stephen, led by Father Michael Payapalli from the Colombo Divine Retreat Center. It begins on Friday the 31st at 1 p.m. and will carry on till 9 p.m. On the 1st of April, it will begin at I think 8 or 8:30, I'm forgetting myself, but somewhere early morning with confessions and then rosary, and it will carry on till about 5 p.m. And then on Palm Sunday, we begin at 8 o'clock with Mass. On Palm Sunday, we have Bishop Bartol Barreto. On the 1st of April, we have Bishop John Rodrigues. So on Palm Sunday, we start at 8 o'clock with Mass and we'll continue till 5 o'clock in the evening. All the sessions will be given by Father Michael Payapalli. We welcome you. If you're pre-registered, you're welcome. If you've not pre-registered, you're welcome. There will be space for you. Remember that those who are pre-registered will be seated with preference in the church and in the church balcony. And if there is space, we'll accommodate others too. But otherwise, we have made preparations for people to watch on a large screen TV, also in our church hall. We are providing modest meals, we're providing tea, we're providing tea snacks. All of this is being provided free of cost. We are bearing the entire cost, somewhere close to about 10 lakhs. We're doing this because we've had wonderful, generous donors who trust us, and I'm so grateful to them. God bless you and make the best of this. I beg you, don't ask me if you're in Bombay for a link to watch it unless you're sick and old or housebound. God has given us 2 feet. Let us come into His house. Let us worship Him in His temple. God bless you. I'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget to like this message, share it with your friends, and leave a comment. Bye, everybody.